EP15.
Hello, welcome back. You are listening to Mixing Music. I am your host, Dee Kei, and today I want to talk about networking and the importance of being a good human being. I really believe that 95% of what we do is just people skills. I will say this time and time again. You can ask any of your clients, you can ask any of your friends. Almost everyone would rather work with someone that they get along with than someone who is better. Slightly better, you know? I mean, if they're dramatically better, then they probably might want to sacrifice a little bit of that, like, peopleness, but in general, and also this is just basic capitalism, economics, I don't care what you believe in, this is just kind of like a truth that you can take if you want, but I believe that you cannot be successful without being a good person. Now, I know a lot of people that are successful that are just total dirtbags, but that is, and being said, that's kind of, it's not rare per se, but that's not like, those people are like strange in the sense that there's something else going on. Like, they're either too stupid good at what they do, or they didn't get that way until they had already become successful. Now, the second of what I said, the latter of what I said, is more often the case that I've seen, and from my personal observations. I know, again, I'm kind of in an entrepreneurial circle from where I'm at in Utah, so I meet a lot of like different business owners and different startups and different CEOs, and I do see a pattern of people just being super genuine. Like, the wealthier people are, the more genuine they are in general. Now, obviously, there's always exceptions to this rule, but I do feel that success has a lot to do with how you are as a person. I honestly believe that you will become more successful if you are a genuine, grateful, humble, realistic human being. Like, if you're a dirtbag, if you just talk trash all day long, if you make excuses, like, not only do I feel like you don't deserve to be successful, but most people will feel that way and they won't want to connect with you and help you out. Like, they don't want to help someone that doesn't add to society in a good way. Well, I'll just say that. Fight me, and you may have different insights and more specific examples that may differ with my opinion. But in general, as a blanket statement, I will say that in order to be successful, you have to be a good person. I think it's a good investment of money and a good investment of time to improve yourself. Go out and buy a $5 notebook or a $1 notebook from the dollar store and write down, like, make goals, commit to yourself, like, try to improve yourself and learn. And these things are great ways to continue to grow your clientele and to grow your business. I really believe it is really good. It's really important. I also believe that networking is really important. Networking is one of those things that people are kind of sometimes scared to do, just like meeting people. I'm not saying that networking is something that you have to be doing, but going like door to door and going to all those seminars and like going out of your way to meet with everybody. Like, nobody likes anybody that's trying to force a relationship to happen, like force something to happen. Like, if there is no chemistry going on, then it's not really gonna happen. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Like, you have a personality type. Everybody else has a different personality. Like, not everybody's compatible with everybody. Like, you can't be best friends with everybody. That being said, you should try to be genuine and you should be real with, and don't ever be fake. People can read through that immediately. But try to relate to people. I mean, humans, that's what we do. We relate to people. If you say you're from Wisconsin, I'll be like, oh, like, I lived in Chicago for a while. Although it's not Wisconsin. Like, as a human, I'm trying to relate to him. So I say, I'm in Chicago. We were in the Midwest. We're right next to you. I went up to Wisconsin a lot. And, that's just what we do. Just try to be related. Like, try to relate to people. And I'm not saying that you need to be like super businessy and like pitch your company all the time. In fact, I recommend not pitching your company the first time. Unless that's like the point of the conversation and they ask you that question. But don't go out of your way to make an unnatural pitch. Just like, hey, like, What do you do? What can I do to help? How can I add value? Like, typically when you're networking, you want to find ways that you can give value or add value to other people, and that value always comes back. Almost always comes back. Let me clarify that. It doesn't always come back, but you should never be expecting you should never feel like you deserve to have things come back in a good way. Like, you should be giving, you should be selfless, you should be trying to give people, help people, have that abundance mentality, and you should try to be adding value for people and without expecting anything in return. That being said, if you do that genuinely, a lot of things will come back and there will be some sort of return. People know people, things happen when people know people, and it's really important to just be known as the guy who's like a good guy, who's trustworthy, who's honest, who's fun to be around. Who you want to be the guy that's known to make everybody around them feel good. Like, if your personality type is life of the party, then that's great, if your personality type is just super introvert, that's also great. Now, I'm not saying that being extrovert is better than being an introvert. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that no matter if you're extrovert or introvert, it's very important that you go out and meet people. And, just strike a conversation with them. And I do believe that it is important to kind of go to seminars and go out of your way to meet people in different circles. I believe that's important. Again, I don't believe that it needs to be forced. I don't believe that you need to go to pitch your company. I just think you need to make friends. I think making friends is an important part of this job, or any job, to be honest, if you want to climb any sort of ladder. If you want to climb up economically, you need to know more people. People always say you just need to know the right people, and say that as an excuse, because it's kind of true. Sometimes you just do need to know the right people. But a lot of that times it's you going out of your way to make sure you meet those people. Now, I'm not saying that you can go out of your way and meet someone that's in the Grammy world winning Grammys. You might have to pay for that opportunity, and you might have to, that might not ever come. Who knows? If you're living in Tennessee and you don't, or not Tennessee, let's say you're living in North Dakota in the woods, and that's where you work, then you might not ever meet anybody like that. But that being said, you should still go out of your way, take a plane, go out to Nashville, LA, Atlanta, Miami, New York, go to NAMM once and go to meet people. And see what happens. There's a lot of opportunities that come. I really believe that knowing people, that shouldn't be an excuse. You shouldn't make that excuse of, I just don't know the right people. Go and learn the right people. Go out of your way. What's going to happen to you if you Instagram, DM people, and instead of shooting all those girls, DMing all those girls, you should just DM other people that you want to meet and see what ways that you can add value to their lives. You know what I'm saying? And I really do believe that people need to hustle and go out of their way to meet people. They need to go out of their way. We all, and I'm talking to myself too, we all need to go out of our way to find ways that we can improve ourselves, really build into that character ethic, as I talked about. If you haven't read 7 Habits, you need to read 7 Habits. They talk about the character ethic. I love the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think that's a must read. You have to read that book. If you want to do well, and be a good person, that's one of the must reads. It's not a hard read. In fact, you can probably listen to it for free on YouTube at double speed. It's a good book. I also believe that 7 Habits by Stephen Covey is a really good book. And he talks about the character ethic, where you need to build your character, not skills, not the skill of communicating, and not necessarily the skill of how to win and pitch a product and how to win people over. Not that skill. You need to build your character, and all that other stuff will come. You need to be a genuinely more trustworthy person. You need to be genuinely a more honest person, and just be a good person. The better you are as a person, all these things will just naturally come. And I really do believe that is a good investment of time. I love reading books, different books. Again, I'm kind of an entrepreneur where I've failed a bunch of businesses. I've also done well with a bunch of businesses. And I think that knowledge is power. And I do really believe that like reading these books will actually help you. I think books is a great use of money and time. And I do believe that you should spend your time wisely, because we don't have an infinite amount of time. But that being said, if you're under 30, then you got tons of time. You got so much time to kind of learn and grow. Take risks. Be grateful, but take risks. If you're under 30, trying to hustle. Yeah. If you have any questions, make sure to DM me on Instagram at DEEKEI Mixes, DK Mixes. Or hit me up, email me if you have any mixes that you want me to give you feedback on, or if you have any suggestions on podcast topics or whatnot. Hit me up at dkmixes@gmail.com. Don't be afraid to hit me up. I'm serious. Like I don't plan on not responding to anybody. Like I'll respond to almost everybody if I can. If I miss you, don't worry about it. Like just send another email. I'll get back to you. Unless you're saying something stupid or ridiculous, which is probably not going to be the case because you all are smart and that's why you're listening to this podcast. But yeah, hit me up. Let's connect. Let's chat. Keep hustling. Keep working. Be the best that you can be and stay saucy.
1, 2, 3.
This episode of Mixing Music with Dee Kei has been brought to you by LaunchPod Media. If you want to start a podcast, make sure to start it right with LaunchPod Media.